Hi, everybody. My name is Kelsey Rettke. I am the editor of the Daily Chronicle. I'm here with our DeKalb City reporter, Megann Horstead. We are here with a couple candidates for the DeKalb mayor spot ahead of the April election. Unfortunately, one of the mayoral candidates, 7th Ward Alderman John Walker, could not join us tonight, but we are joined by the three other candidates. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, first we're going to allow you guys to sort of introduce yourselves, and we'll start with you first. Cohen, if you want to just tell us a little about yourself, and why you're running.
Sure, absolutely. First, if you don't know me, I'm Cohen Barnes, the current mayor of the city of DeKalb. And I grew up here, went to Little John Elementary School, graduated DHS, Kishwaukee College, Northern Illinois University. In fact, really the only time I left DeKalb was to serve in the U.S. Army for a few years. But then I came back here. And I raised my family, two wonderful kids through the DeKalb School District. My wife is a teacher in the DeKalb School District. And then also, I created a business and have been running a business for 30 years here in the city of DeKalb, which has been phenomenal. But during that time, I also spent a lot of time investing and giving back to a community that has just been absolutely so wonderful to me. And I've served on the Ben Gordon Center Board of Directors. I've served on the DeKalb School Board. I've been president of the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce and the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation. I've done a lot to give back to this community that ultimately has been just so good to me. And, during that time, I couldn't be prouder of what we've been able to accomplish in the city of DeKalb. And I look forward to being able to share what we've done and what we're going to do over the course of this conversation.
Thanks so much, Cohen. And Lynn, you can go next if you want to just tell us a little about yourself and why you're running.
Sure. So my name is Linh Nguyen, and I am running for DeKalb City Mayor. When I came to the US in 2004, I knew almost no English, but I knew how to work hard. So after earning a master's degree and a doctorate degree in chemistry, I began serving as a professor and an educator at various universities, including Northern Illinois University. I have served my community and stayed in League of Women Voters top leadership position and have connection to legislator nationwide because of my selection to the Illinois Women's Institute for Leadership. It's an organization founded by the Loretta Durbin and Senator Dick Durbin. I am also an Athena Award finalist for the DeKalb Chamber of Commerce. I am a committed advocate for our community, serving as a trustee for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employee, Local 1890. And I'm also a director on the board for Rooted for Good, used to be DeKalb County Community Garden. I also serve on the fundraising committee for the Illinois Women Institute for Leadership. Most importantly, I have a beautiful family and cherished friends in DeKalb. So as a PhD chemist, I rely on analysis and data to measure the impacts of action and reaction. So as DeKalb mayor, this translates to informed decision making. As a league president and state vice president, I have firsthand experience in governance, policy making, and advocacy, a deep understanding for the importance of community engagement with transparent and accountable government. And my relationship with the Illinois legislator at all levels give me access to a vast network of resources and mentor. I know we all want the same basic thing in life, a safe place to live, enough food to eat, and a little time to enjoy family and friends. And I promise to use all my skill to make that happen for all DeKalb residents.
Oop, you're muted, Kelsey.
Yeah, it was the first one to do that. Thanks so much, Lynn. Kwame, last but certainly not least, if you want to tell us a little about yourself and why you're running.
Well, okay, my name is Kouame Sanan, and I live in DeKalb for 26 years now, married for 31, with my beautiful wife and two children, adult children that we raise here in the community here in DeKalb. They live on their own now. So, I graduated from NIU with I'm a bachelor and a master degree in operation management information system. I also serve the community through my church, where I'm a council member to the pastor and also to the church, and I also the leader of the married couples, and I also part of the prayer team and the leader of responsible of the benevolent fund, which is set to help the community and also the member of the church. So I'm running because I want to make DeKalb a safer, stronger, and affordable community. And why is that? Is because through my time that I live here in DeKalb, I noticed that there's a lack of a community. The sense of community is lacking, and there's a lack of activities for the people, the citizens of DeKalb to partake in. And also, there's not affordable. The DeKalb is not really affordable like the time when we moved here. So that's the reason why I'm running, to make this place a place where everybody has a sense of belonging, and I'm proud of the community they live in.
Thanks so much for that, Kouame. First question goes to Linh. What, in your opinion, are DeKalb's top 3 issues that you would want to address if elected, and how would you address them?
So my top priority is to improve the quality of life in our city. And one way is to focus on the repair and maintenance that our street and sidewalks so desperately need. Safe and reliable street and sidewalks support businesses, helping attract new investment. Our neighborhoods can be more bike-friendly and walkable. Reliable roads improve public safety too by reducing accident and providing access to healthcare, education, and job opportunity for everyone, including those underserved and rural area. So to fund this program, I think we could follow the lead from the county, which had gotten federal dollar for county roads. So our mayor, I will focusing on securing similar funding for DeKalb, because safe street is essential for a growing dynamic DeKalb for all of us. The second priority would be increasing sustainable economic development. So climate change is threatening our way of life, especially in our farming capability in DeKalb, where we have the richest soil in the nation. So we need to be on the leading edge of resolving this, paving the way for other farming community to do all we can to preserve our way of life and the world access to food. So under my leadership, I will support and empower the Citizen Environmental Commission to continue their work and implement their sustainability plan. I also want to partner with NIU Campus Sustainability and the Northern Illinois Center for Community Sustainability to collaborate with regional and national stakeholders on initiative for sustainable economic development. My third priority would be ensuring that every tax dollar is accounted for and used with the utmost care and consideration. So transparency and accountability will come first with money report to keep everybody informed about the city finance. I will ensure we pursuing federal and private funding sources to accomplish our goals and dreams, and making this inclusive community that serve everyone. So part of achieving that dream is to ensuring that our tax remain on a downward trend and to make life and home ownership more affordable in DeKalb.
Thanks so much. Kouame, same question to you. What, in your opinion, are DeKalb's top 3 issues that you would want to address if elected, and how would you address them?
Thank you. So I guess that's why I'm running, for those top 3 issues, which is part of my platform, which is making DeKalb stronger, safer, and affordable. Why stronger is because I believe that when the community is stronger, it gives a sense to the people of belonging. It provides support, and also it kind of give a shared identity to the citizens of DeKalb. So how are we going to do that? The approach will be to either organize events that will foster a relationship between residents and promote the cultural and historical asset of DeKalb, attract businesses through policies with connection with the city mayor, city manager, and have events and collaboration with different area and also the school system in DeKalb. And safer, because we also believe that when the community is safer, it promote a better health, well-being, promote, increase property value, and also attract businesses. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing, working with the police. Also, like I call it police pop-up. So what that means is the police go to the community and set up a tent and then engage with the community. Any question the community may have or anything they may have to deal with the community, so the community know who's patrolling their neighborhood. And also have like education and awareness and workshop for residents to be able to participate and learn what's going on and what needs to be done in the community to be safer and affordable, because I do believe that an affordable community bring better health, which help the community or the residents feel better about themselves, and also especially the issues related to financial burden and the constant moving, and also it boosts the local economy by bringing disposable income to the residents when everything is affordable, and also tax revenue to the city. And also by having an affordable community, it also attract businesses and attract also commercial space in the city. So these are the three priorities that I will focus on when I'm elected mayor. And I think by doing this, we will bring DeKalb to the next level.
Thanks so much. Cohen, same question. What, in your opinion, are DeKalb's top 3 issues that you would want to address if elected, and how would you address them?
Great. And first, I got a question. Is there any sort of time limit on our answers?
Good question.
These questions? Because I could talk for a long time on these.
I would aim for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops. I've been trying to sort of keep tabs about that.
Okay. All right. That's great. And then rather than reading my answers that you already have that we submitted, that I hope a lot of the listeners have gone online, read all those, I'm just going to share with you right from the heart on where I sit on this. 2 of the 3 I originally ran on 4 years ago when I became mayor. And economic development is one of my main priorities for the city of DeKalb. And why that is, because there is a lot behind that. But ultimately, being able to attract new companies to our community, and I'm talking small and I'm talking large. I was fortunate to be a part of the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation, and especially to lead that organization 2 years prior to becoming mayor. So I worked with Bill Nicholas, our city manager, firsthand, who's my vice president in that organization, to be able to figure out how can we transform the position DeKalb was in and make it more business friendly. What is it that these businesses want, and how can we change policy to be able to attract those? Because attracting small and large businesses, because it's important to diversify, but what they do is, one, they create jobs, and a lot of times they create higher paying jobs, living wage jobs. And I think that's something that's really important and a priority for many of our citizens in our community, to find work that they can have those funds, to be able to do those cool and fun things like Kouame's talking about, to have a better quality of life overall. And attracting those businesses creates those jobs and provides those opportunities for our residents. But it also provides more tax revenue. And there's sales tax in construction materials, there's sales tax in the products that they sell, as well as property taxes. And what that does is, for too long, the taxpayer in the city of DeKalb has been shouldered with a huge burden to fund our police and fire and all the services in our schools by themselves. And now what we've seen over the last 4 years alone is over $700 million in new investment into our community, which means more tax revenue for everyone, which allows us to hire, in this case, 28 new first responders, or allows the school district to be able to bring in new programs. So that economic development is a key component for jobs and revenue, while our existing taxpayers can hopefully see a reduction in the overall tax rate that they end up paying. But then I agree with Kouame, quality of life. I ran on that 4 years ago, and that's why we revitalized the downtown, transformed it. The amount of businesses that we have prior 4 years to where we are now is night and day, especially our downtown, how it has changed so significantly in a 4-year period. And that is by creating a business-friendly environment. That is by using TIF money to be able to invest in our community, invest in our businesses, to be able to spur that economic development, right? It's a catalyst for it. I want to be able to provide those, but also it comes to the first responders. I mean, 28 new first responders is important. That's new firefighters, that's new police officers to make our community safe. That is a key component of quality of life. And then lastly, what I'll focus on is infrastructure. And I've been doing that. Before I took office, we were spending $700,000 a year on roads. After I took office, 2.5 million we increased to in resurfacing our roads. And next year, we've already approved the budget for $4.5 million. Also, by next year, we are on track to replace all lead pipes in our community, which is a huge deal, a huge deal. And then lastly, we continue to expand our water supply, and we were voted number 6 in North America, right? Canada, Mexico, and the United States for the best tasting water. Those are the things that are important to our community. Those are the things that are important to our citizens, and I'll continue to do that as mayor of the city of DeKalb.
Thanks so much, Cohen, for that answer. We're going to move on to our next one. So Kouame, you can answer this one first. Cohen actually already mentioned some of the budget stuff, and I know, fiscal 2025 budget also has already been approved. I'm curious to hear what you guys say on the overall budget. So Kouame, do you think that the city budget as it stands has any excess, any fat to it? Do you think there needs to be cuts? And if so, where would you cut them? Or what services would you want to prioritize under the city budget if elected? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, another great question. So really, I don't have much to say about the budget because I read the budget, but I didn't really participate in creating the budget. So, but what I know about the budget, I think it's good enough for now. I don't know if is in excess or not, but I do know that the city need more money. They need to increase its budget. The finance coming to the city, and so that's what I will say about it. But what I think it is I will not cut any program because I don't know which program the city is financing or sponsoring now. So I cannot say I will cut any program. So what I will do when elected mayor, I will go through each line of the budget and see what is feasible and what is not feasible. If is enough room to increase or to decrease or to do what needs to be done for the community to be having a quality of life, a safer and stronger community. So that's what I will do. But in the meantime, as far as what the budget will do for the city, I believe that a good and transparent budget is good for the community. People know what's in it, what it will do, what is entailed, and what can be cut or done on if needed to. So, like for example, the new police, the new fire department. People complain that why they build a new fire department, the cities and is short of money, or And to me, I don't think if it's done, it's because there was money budget for that. So I do agree with what's going on with the fire department. I think it's needed. So these are some of the infrastructure and also services that will provide if I'm elected mayor. Through the budget, we will do this kind of thing for the city and make sure everything is working and provide a quality of life to the student to the resident of DeKalb.
Thanks for the answer, Kouame. Cohen, you can go next. Obviously, you've been mayor for the past 4 years, so you have a little more inside knowledge of how the budget works. Do you believe there's any excess, or the flip side to that, which would be if you don't, if you're reelected, what services, would you want to see prioritized in the city budget?
Yeah, I don't believe there's any fat in the city of DeKalb's budget, and that means there's nothing to cut there. I'm really proud. Every year we have passed a balanced budget. with the city of DeKalb. So the revenue that comes in, we don't spend more than the revenue that comes in. So that is something I ran on 4 years ago to make sure that we have, and I'm very proud that we've been able to continue to do that. I think we've done an amazing job running very lean in multiple services, but what was nice over the last 4 years, because of the extra revenue that we had coming in, we've been able to shore up some of our departments. We had a street department with the bucket of a snowplow came off the frame, right? Because we went too long not prioritizing vehicle replacements. We had police officers that were working 60, 70 hours a week, a week when I came in. Can you imagine the stress on those officers and our firefighters, the amount of overtime that they had because they were short-staffed? Our ambulances were out of date. Our roads were deteriorating. I mean, it was incredible to see with the amount of money that we had that we were in a position that was so poor. So we've spent a lot of time, and I give credit to Mayor Smith starting this process and then the existing city council to really prioritize. We're going to make sure that every dollar we spend is spent on the right things. So it's not being spent on administration, growing that organization. It's been spent directly on our streets, directly on our fire department, directly on our city, our police department. Those were services that people, when I ran 4 years ago, said that they wanted, and we made it happen. We're still not there yet. We still have a few more firefighters to hire. We still have a few more officers. We're at 72 sworn officers right now. We're going to go to 75. And that's finally going to get us to a point of being able to do traffic where we'll have more policemen out on the streets pulling over these traffic violators, which I hear about that every single day. But ultimately, I'm particularly terrified at what's going on at the national level. I have no idea what changes are going to affect what programs we have and that we support in the city of DeKalb. And even if we don't directly support them, there's a lot of organizations in our community that rely on those federal dollars. And should those dollars dry up, if there was any extra money, I'd want to hold on to it for a little bit just to make sure that we might be able to help shore up some of those organizations or shore up the service that they particularly provide. So right now, again, I'm incredibly proud about having a balanced budget. I love the fact that we have continued to increase our revenues without having to add additional taxes onto the taxpayer. And we've done a lot with that, and we're not done yet. And that's why I'm running for mayor. Need a little bit more time to finalize all these plans that we worked hard over the last 4 years that I like to think a lot of you out there have seen firsthand the benefit of those. And we want to continue bringing that to fruition.
Thank you, Cohen, for the answer. And Lynn, same question to you. What's your opinion of the city's budget as it stands now? Do you think it has any excess? Would you cut if so, or if not, what would you like to see prioritized in the city budget if elected?
So I want to second the mayor sentiment. We have a really good budget, and that thanks to the very competent city staff, in this case, the city manager working across multiple city departments to make sure that we have a budget that we can work with. The city council vote to approve the budget, but the city staff are the people that work on preparing a really good budget. And they keep the budget balanced for the last several years. So that was really good. I'm less concerned at the federal level. I'm more concerned at the state level with particularly the elimination of the Illinois grocery tax. And I'm a little concerned that as a city, we have not even, well, maybe their conversation had behind closed door, but as a city, we have not have public discussion on how are we going to address the elimination of the state grocery tax. So there's some transparency that I think need to be there. I would like to know if there any preparation for this budget hole that will be created when the grocery tax go away in less than a year from now. I would like to know that are there any potential revenue losses? How much is it? How is it inform our budget for 2026? What are we doing? So yeah, there's a lot of things that I guess because of citizen, even though very active and engaged citizen like me, I don't have that information. So I would like to know, as a city, how are we preparing to address the elimination of the state grocery tax?
Thanks so much for that, Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
That actually brings us to our next question. The state of Illinois is doing away with its grocery tax. Would you push to enact the local grocery tax on DeKalb residents? Why or why not? First up, Cohen.
Sure. First of all, when we use terms like transparency and behind closed doors, naturally, I'm always going to take exception to that because the people that I'm around and the city staff that we just talked about that are so awesome, do an amazing job being as transparent and open as possible out there. All these things, you can talk about the groceries tax being a problem, and that's our big issue with the state. But you could go into this police and fire pension crisis that we have. That is $1.5+ million right now out of our general fund that goes directly to shore up what property taxes haven't been able to cover on that. And every single solitary year, that's going to continue to grow up. The grocery tax pales in comparison to the issue we have at the state level with the police and fire pension crisis. So I do like to think we are incredibly transparent. I haven't had anyone, to my knowledge, I think, call me on this grocery tax issue. So I'm always happy to talk about it with anyone that is curious about it. So to answer your question on the grocery tax, this was a great political strategy of our governor. He was able to eliminate the grocery tax, a 1% tax on groceries, at no cost to the state of Illinois. So politically, it was brilliant, I guess, of him. He looked great, and what he did then was caused every single municipality in the state of Illinois to lose out on 1% of tax revenue through the grocery tax. There's 1,294 municipalities in the state of Illinois, and they are all faced with this. And what are we going to do? And the city of DeKalb, it's a little north of $750,000 a year that the governor shouldered us with. Now, you want to talk about state unfunded mandates, right? This is a perfect example of another unfunded mandate where the state is continuing to remove local control. This is our community, right? We should have a say in this. We should have the ability or a longer heads up so we can start adjusting. But to answer your question, there is no decision on exactly what we're going to do with the sales tax right now. Every year you have to see what tax revenues how it's played out. So sales tax, right? We've been doing a great job at increasing our sales tax, but there's multiple revenue sources that come into the city of DeKalb. And the last thing, I just spent 4 years not raising taxes. I am not in the mood in any way, shape, or form to do it. But the governor tied our hands on this one. So there is a potential, sure. I know there's some online people that are just going to love this comment, but is there the potential that we could have to put the grocery tax in place, which means we're not increasing the tax, right? The governor removed it, and we're just putting it back at a local level. So there's no change whatsoever if we ended up doing something like that. But I'm going to make sure that should I be reelected, that everything in my power is, can we find those funds elsewhere? And the way we do that, again, is going back to economic development, going back to attracting businesses here to create more tax revenue. So those are the ways that we can shore up the removal of the grocery tax, which is why we haven't increased taxes in 4 years that I've been mayor.
Thanks for that. Lynn, same question. The state of Illinois is doing away with its grocery tax. Would you push to enact a local grocery tax on DeKalb residents? Why or why not?
So I have a couple of mayor, Moline City Mayor and Highland Park Mayor. They are among my closest mentor, and I have this conversation with them multiple times. We all of these phenomenal women, and I graduated from the same training academy with the Illinois Women's Institute for Leadership. So I'm just gonna focus on sharing how Moline did this. They have a population size of 43,000 people, and they have more similarity with DeKalb than Highland Park. So Moline approach has been very brilliant for its emphasis on long-term fiscal sustainability rather than short-term fixes. So they adopted a multifaceted strategy to address the elimination of the state grocery tax with early planning being a key. So they started the planning for the revenue impacts in 2022. Well before the tax elimination schedule to take place in 2026. So the city finance department conduct a thorough analysis of potential revenue losses, which inform the budget adjustment. So instead of and they actually did a year without the budget that come from the grocery tax and see how that would impact. So instead of making drastic cut to any single department, they actually implement targeted efficiency measure from across multiple city department. They also ramp up the city economic development effort to expand commercial tax bases. They strategically use portion of their financial reserve to ease the transition when they're pretending that they don't have this revenue without significantly affect services. So I think we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can look around to our neighbor and see what everybody is doing. And we could conduct a comprehensive review of our fee structure for various city services, making modest adjustment on actual services costs. We could collaborate with the surrounding neighborhood city to identify opportunity for shared services or share resources to pooling resources and reduce costs. So my friend and mentor, the Mayor Pauline Sangeetha, she is actively engaging with state legislator to advocate for additional local government support through the Local Government Distributive Fund, the LGDF. So yeah, there's a lot that we could learn from talking to other city leadership, but we need to start that conversation.
Thanks for that. Kouame, same question. The state of Illinois is doing away with its grocery tax. Would you push to enact a local grocery tax on DeKalb residents? Why or why not?
Well, that's another good question again. So the thing is, any tax imposed in anybody is a problem. So the fact that the state, doing away with this tax it may be good, but again, I cannot promise that if I'm mayor or when elected mayor, I will increase or decrease taxes on groceries. I believe people will do with what's there. Like now, for example, the price of eggs went up. We complain, but people still paying for it. I'm not for it, but we don't have a choice. So whatever we can do to bring revenue to the city, that's what will be done. So I understand, we need to also do some research and see what happened and how can this impact our community. But the thing is, there is more present and more important issue to deal with than grocery taxes. That's what I believe. I don't say that I'm negate the fact that grocery tax is not important, but we have other issues that we can be working on. Like, for example, make sure we attract businesses to the city that are going to help us on the burden of tax or property tax, and also increase our revenue through taxes, through maybe work with the businesses and see what we can do for the businesses, how we can help them save money, and then pass this saving to the consumer. So there is a different thing we can do. And again, I don't want to negate the fact that increasing, the fact that the state doing away with the tax is not important. It is important, but I will focus more on different things that will bring revenue to the city and help the citizen have a better life, have better resources, have better health or well-being and security and affordable housing and stronger in the community. So that's what I will focus on, and also tackle at the same time any issue that arise along the way to make this thing happen.
All right, thanks for that.
All right, next question sort of goes along the theme of what many of you have touched on, which is that there have been a lot of things happening in our nation's capital that have the potential to directly impact us here in DeKalb. A lot of it is ever changing, it seems, in the last 2 months. Some of it is coming up now. So we're going to do Kouame for this question first. So we've reported on this already. Tariffs that are going to be going into effect here in the country are likely going to have local impact here with businesses here in DeKalb. Many of you have talked about, your desire for economic growth, whether that's, trying to get local businesses to set up shop here, bringing in jobs, that kind of thing. In this sort of economic stability, instability, whatever you want to call it, in our nation right now. Kouame, what are some specific ideas that you have locally at the local level to help keep our existing businesses afloat here in the community?
Well, you mean like through tariff imposed in the nation now?
Yes, I want to preface this by saying, obviously, we know that our local leadership does not have any control over the tariffs. But I just mean, in general, because there's likely going to be impact on existing business owners in the community, whether it's their overhead, their budget, their staffing costs, their product costs. What else can we do at the city level to support these businesses to make sure that they stay here?
Well, just as you mentioned, tariff will affect anybody. We don't have any control over it. And basically, tariff is another tax, a tax that is imposed to businesses or import or export. So yes, our community will be impacted. Grocery will probably go up, and maybe housing will go up. Everything may go up. But again, we don't have control over that. But what we can do as a city is maybe work with those organizations and institutions that will be impacted to see how we can alleviate the burden of those taxes added to the product or merchandise or equipment. So we can do that, but through the city, work together with the council and see how we can maybe set policies that will lighten the burden for the businesses or anybody involved or impacted by those taxes. So that's what I will do as mayor. Work with those businesses, see the need, see how we can help. It's all about collaboration. Know the need of your customer, and then see how you can impact, improve their lives. So that's how we will do. I will do as mayor. Work with those businesses, make sure you understand the need, make sure where they're impacted, how we can set policies if possible, if doable, to help them solve the issue where they can pass along the saving to the consumer or to the businesses they work with.
Thank you, Kouame. Same question to you, Cohen. Obviously, there are a lot of outside factors that are impacting the stability of our local businesses. Do you have any ideas locally, if re-elected, that we could do at the city level to help keep existing businesses here in our community?
I do. And first, I just want to touch on a previous comment about we need to start the conversation with other municipalities on how to, in this case, affect change to get ready for the grocery tax. The city of DeKalb and myself are part of the Metro West Council of Government, which is made up of municipalities in our region. But there's also the Illinois Municipal League, which represents 1,294 municipalities in the state of Illinois, which I am on the board of directors with. And there's about 40 of us total board members that meet every single solitary quarter to talk about issues that are facing us, including LGDF, which we've advocated for at the state level. And last budget cycle, they gave us zero more. They stripped almost 4% out of the local government distributive tax that they gave. Sorry, there's so much to say. I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. But with LGDF, it used to be 10%. Now it's like 6.4, 6.5%. They are not restoring that. And that would be great when it comes to the grocery tax. But what we found with the state of Illinois is it's constantly cut without funds to be able to make a local municipality whole, which that's what I was talking about with unfunded mandates. But the conversation doesn't need to start. The conversation has started, and we've been having it for 4 years. When it comes to this particular issue with the federal government, in my eyes, it's no different than when COVID hit. So I was president of the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation when COVID was going on. And Northern Illinois University, and I got to give kudos to Rena Kachonis at NIU, who helped us lead this initiative. But what we did is we created a grassroots initiative called DeKalb County Unites. And we focused on the small businesses in our community that were obviously mandated to shut down, and how are they going to be able to sustain themselves. And so what we did in this case was every single solitary week on, I think it was Mondays, we'd have a subject matter expert from a tax accountant on the federal relief programs that were there to be able to educate the small business community. And then on Thursdays, we would have a guest speaker, another business that figured out how to pivot during that time and maximize it. And we did those, I think it was about 3 months straight, just webinar after webinar after webinar after webinar, had huge attendance, and it made a huge impact. But what we also did was we went to every major corporation in the city of DeKalb and said, could you please accelerate your budgets, that spend? You've already budgeted for X, Y, or Z. Can you accelerate that right now to put dollars in our businesses' pockets? And can you prioritize local businesses? We had over 50 major employers, because of that initiative, do just that. That was the thing that saved some of those businesses during that time. And then also, as I mentioned, Bill was my vice president, but we worked with the city of DeKalb to change some of the ordinances that we had to allow businesses like Rosita's. You could go and get your food and you can get a to-go margarita, right? That may not sound like a lot, but a few of those things for a small business could be the thing that kept 2 more people employed for them. So with what's going on at the federal level, we don't know the impact yet, but I've got a rich history of being able to respond when big issues happen and how they affect our local businesses. And to clarify, I'm a local business owner. Like I said, I've run my business for 30 years. I employ over 25 full-time people. I know exactly how the small business community feels and how different initiatives at the state and federal level affect us. And I think I'm uniquely qualified from that perspective, that should those issues at the federal level impact us, I'll be able to do everything I can to help shore up the small business community.
Thank you, Cohen. And Lynn, same question to you. Obviously, there are a lot of factors at the federal level that are impacting, that have an impact on local businesses and will have an impact on local businesses. What ideas do you have at the city level to help make sure that we keep and support our existing businesses here in DeKalb?
So the first thing I would say is keep everything local, or as local as we could, right? So there's a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainties and communication come out of at the federal level, but all politics is local. And so if we try to keep our supply, if we at the local level, if we try to promote buy local campaign to reduce the dependent on imports, that certainly could help. So one thing as an educator, I would think is we could have some sort of education information. So we could perhaps could create some educational sources and hosting workshop or educational forum about tariff impact to specific local industry. Maybe create a website with resources and updates on tariff policy and how it impact our city. If it does, if it doesn't, then we would need to do that. Partner with Chamber of Commerce to see how local business is being heard, like collaborate with them to see if we could disseminate information to identify specifically what business are being heard and how they are being impacted. I'm a trained scientist, so I like to be able to collect data, take a look at the data, and then make informed decision based on those data and make decision from here. But for now, I would just think that keep everything local, from politics to imports. Just try to do everything local.
Thank you. The next question goes to Kouame. Do you feel that DeKalb City policies are inclusive, equitable, and welcome diversity? Why or why not?
Well, I hope it's inclusive. I hope the mayor did his job to make it inclusive. But I really don't not familiar with this side of the policy. But from what I heard, is not inclusive. From what I heard, I don't say it's true, but again, like I say, from what I heard. So what I will do, if mayor, I will make sure, first of all, when we get an affordable community, it will bring a different kind of population, a different population. So when the population is getting diverse, whoever is in office, or when I get in office, there's no other choice but make it diverse. So I really don't know what to say too much about that, but I will just focus on making the city affordable to bring a diverse community to the city, and then make sure the city is safer and then stronger, and then we go from there. So I don't want to speculate on what I heard, but I just thought that I mentioned that. So that's what I would say about the policies to be inclusive or not.
All right, thank you. Cohen, same question. Do you feel the DeKalb city policies are inclusive, equitable, and welcome diversity? Why or why not?
I think this is always something the city of DeKalb will continue to work on and continue to strive for. We moved to this community because you're mentioning diversity as one of the items here. We moved to this community because my parents, after having attended school here, realized it was a place that they wanted to raise their child. And we came to DeKalb because of that. DeKalb is rich in diversity. It's who we are. And I got to give Northern Illinois University the incredible amount of credit for that. I remember when I was on the school board, Jefferson Elementary School had 27 languages being spoken there. That was a pretty cool thing. Challenging from education and getting the teachers in that could translate and work with those students, but a pretty incredible thing. I think by nature, our community is incredibly diverse. And we've got, and I'm not just talking racial diversity, cultural diversity, economic diversity, absolutely. From a housing perspective, we have quite a bit of low-income housing, and then we've got high-end housing as well. But again, it's something that I know we can always do better on. When I became mayor, I focused as heavy as I could trying to recruit people that don't look like me to be a part of our commissions, and including on our city council. I appointed Andre Powell to our city council. I really wanted to make sure that when people saw the city council, when they were on commissions, they could see themselves, but also could relate, right? That they are on there, and at least one or two people on a particular commission, they may be a neighbor with, or they may have went to school with, or they have another commonality there. A while back, I can't even remember how many years now, maybe 3 to 4 years ago, we had the opportunity to have a gentleman named Dr. John Powell speak. And I was part of the original group that helped get him here and put on the seminar. But he teaches this concept of belonging. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I was fascinated by it. And he taught us this idea of co-creating a community, which again was a new idea for me at the time. And I love that idea of it's not my community, it's not her community, his community, or their community. It's a community that we all need to have a vested part in what it actually looks like, how it operates, not being invited into it, but actually an active participant in co-creating a community where we believe and we think everyone belongs. Are we there yet? No. More work to do, absolutely. But I've been fortunate in this role to be around a wide variety of people that have no problem giving me their opinions. But what's been great is the real heart-to-heart conversations that we've had. I've been able to grow as a human being through it, which is something I'll cherish these last 4 years on. But again, I think we have more work to do, but I look forward to doing that work.
Thank you for that. Lynn, same question. Do you feel that the DeKalb city policies are inclusive, equitable, and welcome diversity? Why or why not?
I think we could do better. We had, have or had, I'm not sure, the Human Relation Commission. And I'm gonna read verbatim the function or the mission of the Human Relation Commission from the DeKalb City website. It's to foster a community that respects and support the diversity and dignity of all people and promote building strong relationship between its diverse citizen groups and organization. I think it's very unfortunate that the Human Relation Commission were not able to meet for an extended time because there were not enough people appointed to the commission, so they couldn't meet because they don't have a quorum. I think the commission, we should leverage and empower a commission like the Human Relation Commission to enhance community outreach into a diverse group of DeKalb to receive feedback and to foster inclusivity. Another thing we could do is to diversify the ways of engage in communication. I mean, not everybody attends city council meeting, not everybody read the Daily Chronicle. So is there a way that we can leverage technology and innovation to encourage the youth, the younger people to participate in city government and local issue? We could use explore a platform for residents to submit ideas and track progress using technology, using different way than just like give the mayor a call. So like kids today, they text, they don't call. So I think there's a lot that we could do to improve community engagement, leverage technology, innovation, and empower commission, all of the citizen commission, particularly the Human Relation Commission, so that we can foster more inclusivity in the city.
All right, thanks so much.
All right, hopefully, I'm hoping that we have time for one more question. I'm just going to ask that everybody try and keep your answers as brief as possible for the next question, and then we'll do our closing. So a lot of you mentioned, it's been mentioned here tonight. I read through your questionnaires. It was mentioned a lot in the questionnaires about how one of your priorities, if elected, would be infrastructure improvement. And Cohen mentioned this as well. The city budget has reflected that priority in the last couple of years. There have been significant road projects that have been completed in DeKalb, whether it's like the shifting of the lanes in downtown DeKalb on Lincoln Highway, the roundabout conversation. So we'll start with Cohen first on this question. If reelected, can you be specific about like are there roads, are there areas in the city that neighborhoods, significantly trafficked, like intersections? Are there places in the city that you think could use infrastructure improvements? And if so, where are those places?
I would say majority of the city of DeKalb could use their streets resurfaced. I hear about it a lot. Like I mentioned, we went from $700,000 a year, which is nothing, to 2.5 million each and every year. That does not get us caught up. That's a finger in the dike, essentially. The 4.5 million that we're going to spend, that we already budgeted for 2025 this year, right, is going to be impactful. So what we've done, since we can't do every neighborhood and we can't please every resident by redoing their streets, we originally started focusing on major arteries. When you look at it, it was a state job doing Lincoln Highway, but we did First Street, we did Taylor Street, we did 7th Street. We're really trying to make it where if you go to the grocery store or when you go to work, you're going to drive on a nice road. So at least people can get a taste of what's hopefully going to be coming. But ultimately, we work with DSATs, which is the county, and we did a study throughout the city of DeKalb where they went around, evaluated every street, core samples, the whole thing, and made a determination of where streets are degrading the most, and how can we go ahead and address those. So what we've been focusing on is neighborhoods right now, Like we did the Knolls, we did the U, and now we're going to actually finish all the cul-de-sacs and all the side streets in the Knolls, which is great. Fairview, that whole subdivision there, we resurfaced that whole area because it's not just about picking one and doing it just because enough people complained. It's really once all the equipment is there, so once the contractor's there with all their people, all their trucks, all that they need to resurface the roads, it's actually way more cost effective to focus and do a neighborhood as much as you can. So that's one of the reasons why we've done that. And then I've had the question of people wondering, well, why did you do this road, not this one? Because mine looks worse. Some roads, if you get past that first layer and into the second layer, boy, the cost of resurfacing gets to be astronomical. So we've made data-driven decisions on which roads do we focus on. And some of it is traffic use, right? How many cars are driving on it? But a lot of it's just been the quality of the road and how far it's deteriorated. And we've done individual streets like 13th Street and 14th Street, and we did it smartly by replacing our sewer lines, replacing the water mains before we resurface, because we've all seen it when a new road comes in and then you dig it up again. Sometimes you can't avoid that the way funding comes in. But I think we've done an amazing job really focusing on our resurfacing our roads. But that $4.5 million in 2025, I'm excited to see what the city of DeKalb looks like after this construction season.
Thank you, Cohen. And we will do Lynn next for this. Again, if elected, are there specific areas in the city that you would want to see infrastructure work done, and where are those?
So the city of DeKalb has a 5-year plan to repair our road, and I actually put a copy of what we'll make available to the public on my website. So it's a very good plan. It's a very data-driven, scientifically put together plan. And I applaud the city engineer and the city staff and the people who put that plan together. So my only thing is the version that I make available to the public, the resolution of all the map and images could be better because I'm a scientist. I analyze massive amount of data and look at plot and diagram and figure, but the resolution of the plan was so poorly, I cannot tell you what area that need to focus on first. But the way they presented the data, the way they analyze the data, I have confident that they're doing a really good job, and we just need to build resources and put resources, prioritize these roads for the communities.
Thanks, Lynn. And Kouame, same question to you. If elected, are there areas in the city that you would want to see infrastructure improvements targeting, and where are those places?
Well, this is a good question because almost everybody have the same question. When my road gonna be done? When my neighborhood gonna be done? So that's
every day.
That's everybody. So I would say my neighborhood will have to be first for sure, because every time I leave my driveway, I go through a pothole over here already, not even 5 feet from my house. So I would think, yeah, everybody wants the road be done, but it has to be a plan. And I saw the city plan, which is very good. But to me, I think it's a little bit too far back. Why? Because by the time you reach my road, probably the one you already done is already deteriorating. So I think a different approach would be better to see how we can work through community, like the mayor stated, work in the community, be done with the community and move to the next one. But yeah, I believe it's a good plan. We can do better. And I believe I will, if elected, I will try to reduce the amount of year to get the road done. Because like I mentioned, it's going to be bad by the time you're done with the next one. So I will prioritize how we can fund it. Maybe as we give tax incentive to those big businesses coming, maybe we can work with them and have them maybe pay our road. I don't know how the negotiation work, but this is one thing I will try to do. As we bring those big businesses like Facebook or all the other company coming, talk to them. Okay, one of the incentive, we give you this, you give you that. So it's kind of to reduce the amount of year to fix those roads. And also the lighting. That's another thing I think we should be done, because most people are afraid to go out at night because of crime or being attacked. So I would think it'd be nice to light also the community, not only the road, but also put some light in different area in the community where people frequently go, and also be able to walk at night or walk the dog or whatever they want to do. So yeah, that's what I think should be done.
Thank you. All right, now we're moving to closing arguments. All right, first up. All right, first up, Lynn, tell us why the DeKalb residents should vote for you.
So throughout this campaign, I've shared my story from arriving in America with limited English, but unlimited determination, to earning my doctorate in chemistry and serving our community through various leadership roles. But tonight, in closing, I want to focus not on where I've been, but on where we can go together. I know we face challenges in infrastructure, economic development, but with these challenges come tremendous opportunity. So as your mayor, I will bring scientific approach to leadership, analyzing problem, gathering data, and implementing solutions that work. I will draw upon my experience in governance from the League of Women Voters and leverage my connection into Illinois legislator at all levels to advocate for resources for DeKalb. I believe deeply in transparent, accountable government where every voice matters, not just the loudest voices or the most powerful interests, but everyone who called DeKalb home. So I witnessed firsthand how strong our community thrive when everybody have a seat at the table. As a member of the board director for Rooted for Good, used to be DeKalb County Community Garden, I've seen how addressing basic needs create foundational and opportunities. So as a union trustee, I understand the dignity of fair wages for fair work. My vision for DeKalb is straightforward: safe neighborhood, vibrant local economy with businesses all sizes, infrastructure that serve our needs, and a government that listens and responds to its citizens. I know we all want the same fundamental things: safety, security, and a chance to build a good life with those we love. That's not a Democratic value or Republican value, it's a human value. So on April 1st, I asked for your votes, not because I have all the answer, but because I promise to work tirelessly with you to find the answer. I'm Linh Nguyen. I will be the first name listed on the ballot, and I would be honored to serve DeKalb next mayor. So please vote for me. Thank you.
Thanks. Kouame, same question. Tell us why DeKalb residents should vote for you.
Well, like someone mentioned on my website, when Kouame leads, no one is left behind. So that's what I will do when I lead as mayor. No one will be left behind. My goal for why should people vote for me is because I'm here to build a stronger, safer, and affordable community where resources are accessible, where everybody has a sense of belonging, and also fostering relationship between residents, businesses, make sure everybody is cared for. And the way we will do that is encourage also the residents to support the local businesses. And I do believe in community, and that's what I believe people should vote for me. I care for people. I've been doing this for a long time through my church and through personal means, in anonymous means, and also make sure everybody is where they need to be. So my priority will be to do that when I'm elected mayor, and I will encourage people to visit my website, KouameForMayor.com, and also see what I'm about and what they can expect from me when elected. I will make sure no one is left behind, and businesses is thriving. Everybody is thriving. People have work to go to, and affordable housing, and an affordable community, and a safe and strong community. Thank you.
Thank you. Cohen, same question. Tell us why DeKalb residents should vote for you.
First, I want to thank you two, especially for dealing with listening to us for a little over an hour now. But definitely want to thank the Daily Chronicle and Shaw Media for putting this on and giving the voters an opportunity to learn some more about their candidates. So thanks, and thanks to my fellow candidates that are on here too. I'm a big believer people should have choice, and it's great to see people wanting to step up and run for office. I'll talk a little bit about me, obviously, because we have to, because this is what we do. But I think a real differentiator between myself and the other candidates, I agree, we all want the same thing. I think these are really good people on the call. Like, that's not even in question, right? It really comes down to proven leadership. So I've spent 4 years in this role, giving a significant chunk of my life to this community. I wanted this to go well. I believe DeKalb 4 years ago was in a spot that it could go either way. And I wanted to do everything I could as someone that grew up here, raised my family, has my business. I want to do everything I could to give back. And I think I've done a pretty amazing job in my role in this, but I'm just a cog in the wheel. Got to give Bill Nicholas, our city manager, an incredible amount of kudos in what's been able to happen here in the city of DeKalb. And city staff, we have some staff members that are just absolutely amazing and go way above and beyond to make the progress that we've had in the city of DeKalb happen. But the key component about being mayor is you set the agendas, right? You help drive policy in the city of DeKalb. And when it comes to budgets, I agree, the city staff does a great job on that, but they get guidance on what are the prioritizations. And when I came in, public safety was a big one. We all know, and we all have a perception of how we feel about, and there's a lot of reality behind it, about the quality of life in DeKalb when it comes to, do you feel safe? You'll see this next council meeting, the chief's police report is out, and major crime on the way down massively. I want to say massively. Shots fired on the way down. I mean, we are seeing a significant change in public safety here in the city of DeKalb. And I want to take credit for my part in that. But again, so many, like our chief of police too. Oh my God, Chief Bird he's absolutely amazing. But here's my point. We've increased roads. We've worked on our infrastructure. We've hired first responders, built fire stations. We've done this Herculean amount of work and did it in a fiscally responsible way with a balanced budget. I can start April 2nd and just continue the path that we're on. There's no learning curve. There's no ramp for me. I know exactly what we need to do. And I have the knowledge and the relationships, not just on a local level, but on a state level, because the boards, commissions, and the relationships I built with our state legislators as well, to be able to continue moving DeKalb forward. So I'd love the opportunity for you all to vote for me on April 1st for mayor of the city of DeKalb. And I promise you, I'll give the next 4 years the same amount of energy I've given the last 4 years. And you can go to www.voteforbarnes.com to find out more. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Cohen. And I just want to say thank you again to all of our candidates who participated tonight. Thanks to Megan as well for all of her help with the questions. I do want to remind our viewers that this is not the only way that you can learn about candidates before you cast your ballot. We do have an Election Central webpage on our Shaw Local website. You can go there and you can read even more detail about these candidates' platforms. They've filled out questionnaires for us. It's shawlocal.com/daily-chronicle/election. We will also be rolling out more election coverage this month, and just some dates for viewers to remember. Early voting starts on March 7th. There will be more locations for early voting that open on March 17th, and then Election Day is April 1st. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.